During tonight's massive Trump rally, and it's massive, it's in Ohio, with J.D. Vance. There is expectations of a big announcement. We'll dip in live straight ahead. Also, Dr. Oz will join us with his final thoughts from Pennsylvania. We'll bring you the very latest polls from all across the country. Right now, 5 Senate races, more than 24 House contests, 3 gubernatorial elections are all within 2 points. That is called a statistical tie. Now, as a reminder, 3 key swing states, if you go back to 2016, propelled Donald Trump to victory in 2016. The combined vote of those 3 swing states, 70,000 votes. 2020, 43,000 votes in 3 states. That would be Georgia, Wisconsin, and Arizona, decided the election. If you stay home, Democrats, well, they're likely to win, and you will get the government you deserve. We are warning you. We warned you. And this brings us to the most important question. Every American this election eve needs to be asking themselves, are you better off? Are you better off than you were 21 months ago? Are you happy? We have a 40-year record high of inflation. We have back-breaking gas prices, diesel prices, and a diesel shortage. Are you happy about that? Is that the best we're capable of? Are you happy that our borders are wide open? 4.5 million illegal immigrants, it's estimated, aided and abetted by Joe Biden and his policies, human trafficking, drug smuggling, record deaths of fentanyl and heroin. Are you happy with your children getting indoctrinated at your schools with critical race theory, radical gender theory, other woke ideologies? While parents, by the way, you are told to sit down, shut up, or you will risk being investigated as a domestic terrorist. Are you happy with zero bail laws in this country? In other words, violent criminal, bank robber, they get caught, let them out, no bail. Get caught again, let them out, no bail. Are you happy with lax prosecutions, even for violent crimes? Are you happy with the spiking crime all over this country, in small towns and big cities? If so, my advice is you vote Democrat or stay home. But if you're furious, if you think that we are better as a country, that we can be better as a country, if you're unhappy with the direction of this country, you have a chance tomorrow to let your voice be heard at the ballot box. So much is at stake. This is an inflection point, tipping point election. Any cliche you want to use, they're all appropriate. The current crop of Democratic candidates, I've been doing this since 1987, starting on radio. They are the most radical, beyond radical, that I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. You have, for example, in Pennsylvania, that trust fund brat. This guy thinks it's Halloween all year round. In a hoodie, John Fetterman. He dresses up like a working guy, except he's never had a job in his life. A lifelong opponent of fracking. That's an $83 billion industry in Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth. He's against all other domestic energy production. He's obsessed with letting first-degree convicted murderers and other violent felons out of prison. Additionally, he wants to open up the prisons in Pennsylvania, let 1/3, 1/2 of the prisoners walk out free. By the way, he's in favor of taxpayer-funded safe heroin injection sites. You live in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you get to pay for that. He's for sanctuary states and cities. No limits at all on abortion. An hour before you're about to give birth, you can have an abortion. During his reign as mayor of a tiny town of Braddock, population declined by 40% to only 1,700 people. That's his one job in life. In the meantime, crime and poverty skyrocketed. Next up, look at Georgia. Okay, you have Raphael Warnock. Democrats there, you want to vote for Raphael Warnock? Let's see. He loves Not God Bless America, GD America, Jeremiah Wright. Loves Louis Farrakhan. Senator Warnock, a big fan of critical race theory, thinks the schools should be teaching it. A proponent of defund, dismantle, no bail laws all around the country. Guy that even calls the police gangsters and thugs. Warnock praised Fidel Castro, a thug murderer. Demanded that America repent for America's whiteness. He was previously accused of running over his wife, his estranged wife's foot with a car after they had a domestic dispute. He was also arrested after he was leading a church camp. Child abuse took place, and apparently they found 5 varying cases that were, in fact, true. And he was arrested for obstructing justice. He now also collects a large paycheck as a pastor who supports no limits on abortion until the moment of birth. Meanwhile, in the great state of Wisconsin, There you have radical Mandela Barnes. He wants to cut the prison population fully in half, open up the prisons, let everyone go free. He wants all cash bail ended. He wants to defund the police, and he once even praised the 2020 riots. Dozens of Americans died, thousands of cops injured. In New Hampshire, you have Maggie Hassan. She supports abolishing the legislative filibuster. She also voted against the Keystone XL pipeline, voted against new natural gas exploration, and during her time as governor, she signed a 23% gas tax hike. By the way, they're expecting in all of New England, that would include New Hampshire, that the possibility that the grid itself won't have enough natural gas to be powered, and they'll have blackouts in New England this winter, with a minimum 30% anticipated price increase to heat your home, whether you heat it by gas or oil. Doesn't matter. Out in Arizona, you have Democrat Mark Kelly. He's no moderate. He votes with Chucky and Joe Biden 98% of the time. For example, he voted to hire 83,000 new IRS agents, voted against hiring 18,000 new Border Patrol agents. I wonder whose side he's on. Anyway, also voted to defund border wall construction 3 separate times, voted against deporting illegal immigrants during the pandemic. And then to top it off, he has big dreams of using Obamacare as a backdoor into a single-payer, socialized health care system in America. Arizona, you're a border state. Are you happy with Mr. Kelly? Now, none of these far-left candidates should be in the U.S. Senate. But tonight, in the spirit of fairness, I want to highlight the Democrats' closing arguments to you, the American people, featuring a big new plan to combat inflation. Chef Boyardee. Not kidding. Here's the Democratic Congressional Campaign Chief, the guy that's in charge of helping elect Democrats, Sean Patrick Maloney. He's running himself. Take a look.
Hudson Valley residents are feeling pain at the pump and at grocery stores. What have you done, and what do you plan to do to help solve our inflation problem?
Yeah, well, I grew up in a family where, if the gas price went up, the food budget went down. So by this time of the week, we'd be eating Chef Boyardee if that budget wasn't going to change, right? So that's what families have to do.
So families, by the way, it's about $1.99 a can. This is beef ravioli, Chef Boyardee. Hope you're hungry. Let's see, this one, spaghetti and meatballs, Chef Boyardee. Let's see, we've got, beefaroni. Beef, that's good, right? Everyone likes beefaroni. And then we have lasagna. Look at the lasagna. Doesn't that look delicious? $1.99 a can. We could eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's how you deal with Biden's inflation, costing the average household $7,200 a year that you weren't paying when Donald Trump was president. Now, forget Build Back Better. Just make do with less. And by the way, eat more canned food, suffer in silence, and you probably won't have heat this winter, but he'll just tell you to put on a sweater, like Jimmy Carter did. Now, after all, according to the left, democracy, though, their argument is on the ballot, democracy on the ballot. Democrats claim their political opponents are Nazis and fascists and violent extremists and enemies of the state. If the GOP wins, America as you know it is over forever. You mean I won't have to pay high gas prices? We won't have open borders? We won't have fentanyl, human trafficking, drug trafficking? You mean we won't have defund? Oh, that's not their argument. Listen to Democratic House Leader James Clyburn doubling down on his recent Nazi Germany comparisons. Take a look.
Congressman. If people want to deny it, that's fine. But the facts are very clear. I've studied history all of my life.
Okay.
I taught history. And I'm telling you, what I see here are parallels to what the history was in this world back in the 1930s,
so, Congressman,
in Germany, in Italy.
Nazi comparison. By the way, the Chef Boyardee has no artificial flavors, no artificial preservatives, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial preservatives, none of that. That's amazing. Anyway, hysteria doesn't end there. This is what we told you. When you don't have anything to run on, this is all you got. What election would be complete without Democrats attempting to manipulate senior citizens? Recently, they dusted off their decades-old smear campaign to falsely accuse Republicans of wanting to abolish Social Security and Medicare. The lying has now become so outrageous that even the Washington Post agrees with me, and they're referring to Joe Biden as a bottomless Pinocchio. Now, with nothing... By the way, who fact-checks the fact-checkers? With nothing positive to run on, Democrats are doing what they always do. They're trying to win an election purely through fear and dishonesty. They don't have any plans to improve the quality of your life or change course in any way. Now, in fact, over the weekend, Biden was caught on a camera bragging about his plan to shut down coal plants across the country and new oil and gas drilling. Now, what? That means we're going to beg Saudi Arabia, OPEC, OPEC Plus, Russia, Iran for the lifeblood of our economy? Because we don't have the wind turbines. We don't have the solar panels that they say that we should be using. It's not available, and it's not efficient, and it's not cost efficient. Take a look.
So it's going to become a wind generation. And all they're doing is they're going to save them a hell of a lot of money, and using the same transmission line they transmitted the coal-fired electric on. We're going to be shutting these plants down all across America and having wind and solar. No more drilling. There is no more drilling. I haven't formed any new drilling.
If you think energy costs are bad now, just wait until that plan takes effect. Joe Biden must be held in check. That's what tomorrow's about. The good news for you tonight is the momentum for Republicans is palpable. Take a look at your screen. Wait, just leave it right there. Look at that screen. Massive outdoor Trump rally. That was the one in Pennsylvania with Dr. Oz. Absolutely packed. Compare that to the John Fetterman rally, same day, same night. Barack Obama, Joe Biden. Oh, half the place is empty. They had to hide all the empty seats. And while this is a great sign, it is the only thing that's really going to matter is what happens tomorrow, Election Day in America. So get to the polls or you will get the government you deserve. It's that simple. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here.